Hi, I'm Melissa Witmer, founder of Ultimate Results and creator of the Ultimate Athlete Project. And in today's video, I'm going to teach you 2 simple principles that are going to help you get in shape for Ultimate. Do you want to dominate the Frisbee field in less time by working smarter and not harder? I know I do. Stay tuned. Alright, so using these principles, you can start training smarter and not harder, which is way more fun and takes less time. There's 2 things that I want you to consider when conditioning for Ultimate. And these are principles that could be applied to any sport, but what we're talking about is simply matching your conditioning to your sport, in this case, Ultimate. And these are the 2 parts of matching that I'm talking about. We've got metabolic demands, which are about matching the time and intensity of what's happening on the field, and movement demands, which is, well, about matching the movement type. And this is how you prepare your body specifically for the sport that you are playing. So first let's look at the metabolic demands. Now, don't be intimidated by all these big words. I'm going to explain a little bit how this works. First, let's look at the metabolic demands of Ultimate, and I'll explain a bit about how the body works. The metabolism is all about how your body manages its energy demands. And so there's different systems that are going to be in play depending on the type of movement that you're doing and how long you're doing that activity. So if you go for a long run, for example, you're going to be using your cardiovascular system. Whereas if you are just jumping as high as you can, you're going to be using the phosphagen system, which produces a lot of energy really quickly. And then if you're going for high intensity for more than 15 seconds, you're going to be primarily using the anaerobic system. Now, all these systems are in play in varying amounts all the time. And the proportion of what metabolic system you're using is just dependent on the activity and also on your training. So again, what we're trying to do is we want to match the metabolic processes of your conditioning to the dominant metabolic processes that your body is using on the field. But again, don't worry about all these big words. Basically, all you need to do in order to match the metabolic demands of your sport and your conditioning is to match the time and intensity demands, and that is not nearly as hard. Let's start by thinking about how much you're moving on the field and at what intensity. There's a study done by Sashi in 2009 where he looked at a video of elite level men's play and sort of timed the active play segments. That's how long the disc was in play. And he found that the average play segment was about 21 seconds. Now that may be a little bit surprising to some of you, but if you think about it, every time the disc goes out of bounds, every time there's a call, every time there's an argument about a call, you have moments on the field where you can catch your breath. And so there's lots of opportunities for a little rest when the active play segments are short. And if you're playing at a high level, the intensity level is pretty high. So you're going to have to think about your unique situation. As I said, this was a study of elite level men's play. So if you're playing pickup, or if you're playing at a different level, or if there's a lot of turnovers or whatever, you're going to have to think a little bit about your particular situation. But I think the point is there's more time for rest than maybe you might imagine. And so the main take-home point here is that, is a 3-mile run the best way to condition for Ultimate? And I think, according to the above, the answer is no. That's not really going to be matching the time and intensity demands of what's happening on the field. So that's the main take-home message. Now, what your active kind of segments should be in your workout, you might want to match this. You might want to take a look at your kind of playing environment. It doesn't have to be exact, but the main point, again, is that we want to, instead of doing long, slow runs at a constant pace, we want to be doing something a little different. The main point here is that long-distance running is not reflective of the metabolic demands of Ultimate, and you have moments in points and in games to catch your breath. So you need to train your body to take advantage of those little breaks by training with little breaks, and this is called interval training. The advantage of interval training is that you can work at a higher intensity for longer because you have those little rest breaks, and you're more closely matching what happens on the field. You're also teaching your body, you're training your body to recover between bouts of effort, and that is really important because if you can do that, you're going to be able to outlast your opponent. Now, there's a lot of ways you can do interval training, and if you want to learn more about interval training, I'll probably make another video about that at some point, so make sure that you subscribe to my channel, and you'll also be able to find some links to more information about this concept below this video. But for now, let's move on, and let's talk about principle 2. And this one's a lot simpler. This is movement demands. So again, let's think about what happens on the field. How often are you running in a straight line on the field? If you're a handler, then I hope almost never. If you're a cutter, you might have some points where you're running in a straight line. But there's a lot of other stuff going on too, even for cutters. You're juking, you're cutting or changing direction, You're shuffling on defense or marking. You might be kind of running or skipping backwards on defense. All kinds of different types of movements happen on the field. So, is running in a straight line the best way to do your conditioning for ultimate? The answer is, again, no. Changing direction and shuffling, stopping and starting, and all of these things are way more stressful on the body than simply running in a straight line. So you want to prepare your body for these changes of directions by adding changes of direction into your conditioning.
You can put these principles into action immediately by downloading my free 6-week speed, agility, and conditioning program. Just click on the link at the bottom of this video. Thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe to my channel for more great videos about ultimate Frisbee training.